welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to be making one of my family's favorite desserts. It's called funny cake. The funny thing about funny cake is it really is not a cake, it's a pie. The first thing that you start with is a prepared pie shell. I used a recipe that my mother makes, has done for years, and it's a very flaky crust, and you can actually find the recipe on NanasCookery at YouTube. So again, I have a nice pie shell already. You can use any one you want. First thing that you do is you're going to take a cup and 3/4 of a cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of canola oil or vegetable oil, and 1 large egg. I always like to break my eggs into a bowl and not directly into the recipe, just in case an eggshell were to fall into the products. So now we take our whisk and we're going to combine the egg, the oil, and the sugar. Give it a nice stir. You'll see it become a lemony yellow color. And you want to beat it for a little bit. You'll really see it getting lighter and lighter as you beat it. The sugar is now combined with the oil. And now what you need to do is add the dry ingredients and the milk. This cake has actually, or cake pie has two steps. You'll see why it becomes funny as I start to put it together. So what we have is a cup of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, my preference is I do use sea salt. And then 1 full teaspoon of baking powder, and that's your leavening agent. And what we're going to do is we're going to add just 1/2 of the flour and the other ingredients, sort of mixing them up into the egg. I'm going to beat it a little bit. And we have a 1/2 cup of milk that we need to add slowly. So I'll add about 1/2 of it. Stir again. Blending in all the flour and the baking powder and the salt. Now we're going to add the rest of the flour. Give it one little stir. And then slowly add the rest of the milk. And we're blending it in. We're making a nice cake batter. And trying to incorporate all the flour so you have a smooth batter. And your final ingredient in this step is vanilla. Again, I prefer to use Madagascar vanilla, pure. I don't like to use imitation. I think this, especially for this cake, you really need to have the flavor of the vanilla. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then you blend that in. And now what we're going to do is pour this into the pie shell. I really like using these particular bowls. I've got them from Pampered Chef, and they're so nice to work with because they have this nice handle and it allows you to pour very easily from your mixing bowl. So now we're ready to start making the next part of the pie, which really makes it funny. You need to have a kettle on to boil. You're going to need some hot water for the next stage. You're going to need a measuring cup. And in the measuring cup, you're going to be putting a 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. Again, you can use anything that you like. My family does prefer dark chocolate, so I will be using the Ghirardelli's dark chocolate. for this particular recipe. And you want a 1/4 cup, so you add that to the sugar. Okay, my water's come to boil. Again, I need about a 1/2 cup. I really like using these measuring cups because you can look down to see your liquid instead of trying to bend over and seeing. These actually have the measuring box inside the cup. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the hot water to the chocolate and the sugar, and we're going to make a chocolatey, sugary syrup. And make sure it's well blended, all the lumps out. Once you have all that blended together, last ingredient once again is you add a little more vanilla. Another teaspoon. Blend that all. And now for the funny part. Very gently pour the chocolate over the cake. Now take a good look at what the pie looks like. We see the chocolate on top, and where did the cake go? I'm now going to put this in the oven for about 45 minutes to 55 minutes at a 350-degree oven. I will check it after 45 minutes to see how we're setting. So we're going to go put it in the oven. We're ready to put this in the oven. I have it set at 350 degrees, and we're going to bake it for approximately 45 to 55 minutes. In about 45 minutes, we'll check it. Watch right there. And in it goes. Nice and chocolatey on top. Let's see what happens in about 45. Hi, the pie has been cooking for about 40 minutes now. We're going to go check to see what it's looking like. And if you see, the chocolate has sort of disappeared. You can see though that the center is still a little soft and jiggly. It looks like it probably needs another 5 to 10 minutes. So we will close up back the oven, and we'll check back in about 5-6 minutes and see if it's firmed up so it will appear just like a cake. Okay, we're going to check the pie again. It's been about 5 minutes, so I believe the pie is probably done. Let's bring it out and take a look at it. The crust looks nice. The cake has some firmness to it. I'd say we have funny cake is done. Turn off the oven, and we will bring the pie out. Now the pie has to sit for about 2 hours before you can serve it. So make sure you put it on some kind of rest so that it can cool. My family loves this pie for breakfast and for dinner. So it is a real funny cake. So later we'll be cutting into it so that you can see what it looks like. Hi, welcome back. You see the pie has come out of the oven. It's cooled and it's been ready to cut. So I have a piece here. I'm going to put it on a plate and you can see it.
Hey Graham, what you doing?
I'm cutting pie. Would you like to try some?
Sure.
All right, here you go. What do you think? Good? You think Grandpa and Uncle Tom and Mom would really like to have some?
Yep.
I guess we'll have to share it with them later. Well, thanks for joining us, and as you can see, we did make a funny pie. The chocolate sunk to the bottom. We have a nice creamy sauce. The cake is on the top. It's a great dessert your family will enjoy, or sometimes our family has it for breakfast. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.